Since the beginning of human history, one world has ruled the night sky. Not with gentle beauty like Venus, nor quiet mystery like Mars, but with sheer dominance. Jupiter, massive and radiant, was named after the king of the gods for a reason. This is not just a giant ball of gas. It is a world of ancient storms, a planet so enormous it bends the architecture of the entire solar system. If it were hollow, 1,300 Earths could fit inside. Its magnetic field stretches wider than the sun. Its atmosphere sinks thousands of kilometers deep into violent chaos. Jupiter is so massive, the Sun and Jupiter actually orbit each other, locked like two gravitational titans. And yet, had it been just 70 times more massive, it would have become a second star, turning our solar system into a twin sun system and rewriting the history of Earth. From afar, Jupiter's swirling bands look beautiful, but up close, its atmosphere is the most violent in the solar system. The Great Red Spot, a hurricane larger than Earth, has raged for at least 350 years, while lightning strikes with power strong enough to vaporize cities. As you descend, pressure crushes hydrogen into metallic oceans that conduct electricity like liquid metal. Jupiter's core may not even be solid. NASA's Juno mission revealed a strange, fuzzy core, possibly the remains of a super-Earth that Jupiter swallowed in the chaos of early planetary formation. Jupiter is both guardian and destroyer. It absorbs dangerous comets, yet sometimes flings asteroids toward the inner planets. In 1994, when comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 slammed into Jupiter, the explosion was so massive Earth could fit inside the fireball. Jupiter is not friend or foe, it is pure force. And it is not just a planet, it is a miniature solar system with 95 moons, including 4 worlds so extraordinary they each deserve their own documentary. Volcanic Io, ocean-covered Europa, massive magnetic Ganymede, and ancient frozen Callisto. Together, they hold clues to the origins of planets, the nature of life, and the future of human exploration. This is Jupiter, storm, gravity, destruction, creation, mystery, the world that shaped our solar system. But the real story is only beginning, because the secrets of Jupiter's moons may finally reveal where life could exist beyond Earth. Jupiter's moons are not just distant spheres of ice and rock. They are entire worlds, each one stranger, deeper, and more dramatic than anything we have ever seen on Earth. And every man watching this right now could realistically live long enough to witness their exploration unfold in real time. And if you've already seen our documentary on Mars, you know how rapidly our understanding of nearby worlds is evolving. We went from dial-up internet and flip phones to landing a helicopter on Mars in 1 generation. So imagine what humanity could achieve in the next 20 years. Think about Io, the first of Jupiter's major moons, a volcanic nightmare world where the ground never rests, where more than 400 active volcanoes constantly reshape the landscape, spewing lava fountains dozens of miles into the sky. Some eruptions are so powerful they temporarily change the moon's orbit. Io is the most geologically active body in the entire solar system, more violent than any volcano zone on Earth, more explosive than anything humans have ever created. Standing on Io would be like standing inside a planet's open heartbeat, where the crust itself rises and falls as Jupiter's gravity stretches and crushes the entire moon every single day. Then comes Europa, a world that does not just hint at possibility, it whispers it like a promise. Beneath Europa's shell of ice lies an ocean that contains more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Think about that. A moon smaller than our own moon holds more liquid water than the entire Earth. And this ocean is not frozen solid. It is kept warm by the constant tidal forces of Jupiter's gravity, which knead Europa like dough, heating the interior and allowing hydrothermal vents to form at the ocean floor. The same kind of vents that, on Earth, are home to ecosystems that thrive without sunlight. Life that feeds on minerals, heat, and chemistry. If such ecosystems exist on Europa, They could include not only microbes, but complex organisms we've never imagined. Some scientists believe Europa could be the single best place in the solar system to discover extraterrestrial life. And NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission will map the moon in unprecedented detail, sampling the plumes of water vapor that erupt from cracks in the ice, natural geysers that shoot material from the ocean into space. Now consider Ganymede, the giant among moons, larger than Mercury, so vast it could qualify as a planet if it orbited the Sun directly. Ganymede is the only moon with its own magnetic field, something even Mars no longer has. This magnetic field creates auroras that ripple across its icy surface, glowing arcs of blue, green, and violet that dance under Jupiter's massive shadow. Beneath Ganymede's frozen crust lies not one, but possibly multiple layers of oceans stacked deep beneath the ice, separated by high-pressure ice phases unlike anything on Earth. Entire alien worlds layered inside a single moon. And then there's Callisto, the silent, ancient survivor. Unlike the rest of Jupiter's moons, Callisto has barely changed in billions of years. Its surface is a map of every major impact the solar system has endured. Craters on top of craters, scars that reach back to the dawn of planetary formation. Landing on Callisto would be like stepping onto a page from the earliest history of everything. It is so stable and so geologically quiet that NASA once considered building a long-term human base there. The radiation levels are lower, the terrain is predictable, and frozen water lies just beneath the surface. As we prepare to explore these worlds, missions like Europa Clipper, ESA's JUICE, and future landers may finally answer the question humanity has carried for centuries. Are we truly alone? Imagine your phone buzzing with a notification, life discovered on Europa, and knowing you live to see one of the most important discoveries in human history. And the truth is, Jupiter's moons are not just destinations. They are mirrors that reflect our fears, our ambitions, and our desire to understand whether life is a miracle or a cosmic pattern. They challenge everything we think we know about the universe. Europa shows us that life could thrive in darkness. Io shows us the extremes of planetary power. Ganymede shows us that moons can be worlds with their own magnetic hearts. Callisto shows us the memory of the solar system frozen in stone. Together, they redefine what a world even means. And just as we explored Jupiter's frozen giants, don't miss our full documentary on Venus, a world so radically transformed by its own past that it reminds us how fragile planets can be, and how wildly different two worlds might become, even if they start almost the same. Jupiter is more than a planet we observe from far away. It's a preview of the kind of universe we actually live in. Out there, beyond our solar system, when astronomers point giant telescopes into the darkness, what do they find first? Not Earth-like worlds, not cozy blue spheres with clouds and continents. They find Jupiters, huge gas giants orbiting distant stars, some so close to their suns that their skies burn at thousands of degrees. In a way, Jupiter is our local example of what seems to be normal out there, and that changes everything about how we see ourselves. Because for most of human history, we thought worlds like Earth were the default, the center of the story. But the deeper we look into space, the clearer it becomes. We are the exception. Spinning safely in a narrow, gentle orbit next to a giant guardian that shapes our fate, Jupiter is part of the reason Earth is even calm enough for humans to exist. And that alone makes our story feel less like an accident and more like a narrow, precious win in a dangerous game. Now imagine this. One day, not too far from now, human ships could be hanging in orbit above Jupiter, watching storms the size of continents spin below, while its moons glow like lanterns in the dark. Maybe those ships will be American-built, fueled by companies and engineers whose names you've already heard: SpaceX, Blue Origin, NASA's next-generation programs. Kids who are in middle school right now could be the mission specialists reading out telemetry from Europa's surface. People scrolling shorts on their phones today might live long enough to see high-definition video from an ocean under Europa's ice, or the first human footprints pressed into the frozen dust of Ganymede. Future explorers won't walk on Jupiter itself. It has no solid surface, but they could live in orbiting stations, move between moons, and build bases in places where the night sky is filled not by a single moon, but by a giant, glowing planet dominating half the horizon. And here's the wild part. From those moons, Jupiter wouldn't just be a background object. It would be the sky. A striped, swirling, living giant that rises and sets like a god made of clouds and lightning. But Jupiter doesn't just pull at spacecraft. It pulls at our imagination and at our fears. Because when we look at it, we're forced to face a bigger question. What kind of universe is this really? Is it cold and empty, just rocks and gas and silence? Or is it layered with strange, exotic forms of life, clinging to oceans beneath ice, hiding in clouds we can't yet enter, thriving in places we once called impossible? If Europa or any of Jupiter's moons holds life, no matter how small, no matter how simple, that one discovery will break the idea that Earth is unique. It will mean life isn't a miracle that happened once, but a pattern the universe repeats whenever it gets the chance. And that changes how we think about everything: religion, philosophy, the future of humanity, even our politics and priorities back home. Because if life is common, then finding it becomes our responsibility. And if it's rare, if we discover nothing at all, then maybe we're even more precious than we realized. Either way, Jupiter forces us into a new kind of honesty about our place in the cosmos. One day, schools in the US might teach kids about the first ocean probe on Europa, the way they now teach about Apollo. People might look up at the night sky and feel not just small, but connected to storms swirling on a giant world 500 million miles away, and to tiny microbes that may or may not exist beneath its icy moons. And maybe that's the real power of Jupiter. Not that it's the biggest, or the most dramatic, or the most dangerous, but that it stretches our sense of what's possible. It reminds us that our story doesn't have to end on one small planet, that the same species who once feared thunder and drew constellations with bare hands is now sending machines into alien skies, reading secrets in magnetic fields, and planning futures on worlds that look like science fiction. Jupiter has been there since before Earth hardened from dust and gas. It will still be there long after we are gone, or long after we've left home. The only real question is this: when future civilizations, human or otherwise, look back at our time, will they say we were the ones who chose to stay afraid under one small sky, or the ones who saw a giant in the dark and decided to go meet it?